Hi, this is Jesse Hert with the Real Financial Group. I'm here with my good friend Steve Dobbs.
Hello.
Steve is a civil engineer.
Civil engineer, yes, sir.
Based out of Okeechobee, and he's here to tell you a little bit about what he does.
Well, I'm a civil engineer. I have all kinds of projects. I do civil projects, commercial projects, residential subdivisions. I cover a little bit of all of South Florida. I've done projects in Orlando and in Fort Pierce. I'm doing a project down in Davie right now. Many projects in Okeechobee, Sebring. So I kind of service this area, whatever people need.
What does a civil engineer do?
Civil engineer, we basically we do what we call the horizontal construction, or the design of the horizontal construction. So that's the roads, the drainage, the water, sewer, things like that. So the way I like to tell people when I go talk to classrooms and stuff like that, what I tell them is I do everything outside of the building. The architect does stuff inside the building. I do everything outside of the building, including bringing water from a mile away or however far away it is that they have to connect to, or sewer, or whatever they need to do. The one thing I tell my kids when I talk in schools and everything, I said, I really don't want to be an architect because there's too many choices. You got different kind of wall textures, you got colors, you got different kind of lights and flooring and all this kind of stuff. Millions of combinations. My grass is always green, my concrete's always white, and my asphalt's always black. So
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So Steve, you are now independent, work for yourself.
Yes.
Right? You worked for U.S. Sugar for years.
I did.
As a contractor or an employee. And if we were going to talk to a business owner, someone that was going to go into business for themselves, what could you share that you either learned along the way, wish somebody had told you, or just really wish people knew?
I never expected to work for myself. And I tell my kids this all the time. I said, if you'd have come to me when I was 18 years old and said, you're going to own an engineering company in Okeechobee, the first thing I'd say is, where's Okeechobee? Because I grew up in Jacksonville. But, so you never know where life is going to take you. And, I started Steve Dobbs Engineering. I was with an engineering company. It was during 2009, 2010. Things were really getting bad. I had a client offer to hire me and start Steve Dobbs Engineering, and I took him up on it. So, it got me through the bad time. Mm-hmm. And so, what I would tell people is, and what I was always concerned about was I didn't know enough. And, what I found out on this side of it is I probably did know enough. It was just kind of overwhelming to start a business and be the person in charge. Mm-hmm. And that's why I was always a second guy. I was assistant to a vice president. I had a guy I went over and worked in for a couple of years in West Palm Beach. And, there was a guy who I think a lot of, Tom Biggs, and he was the guy out front. I was his assistant, if you will, and I always looked at myself in the assistant role, and I'm like, man, I make a good assistant. I make sure all the T's get crossed and the I's get dotted and all this kind of stuff. And so, like I say, when now I'm out on my own and I'm responsible for everything. So
you had it inside of you the whole time. You just weren't.
And you just don't know until you take that chance. It's a little bit of an overwhelming experience not to have somebody to fall back on. Mm-hmm. When you're the final say and you're it.
Would you go back now?
No. No, it would be very difficult. Right. Not that I would not be a good employee, but owning your own company, I can do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. And if I go do something during the day that I've got to catch something up and I got to work till midnight, okay, great. Most jobs won't lend you that kind of flexibility. Mm-hmm. Because if it's from 8 to 5, you got to be in the office and you got to be at your desk, and so that's what I enjoy about it. It's just like coming over here today. I didn't have to call and ask anybody, hey, I need to go meet with Jesse, can I go, I just did it. So I'll pay for it later, but that's okay.
Well, Steve, we appreciate you coming over here and doing this.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I was really excited about having you on here. We start our Okeechobee trend for business owners. Good. I think it'll be super cool.
Good.
Remember, if you're watching this video on Facebook, to like and share with your friends. We want everybody to see Steve. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get 100 subscribers by the end of the month. We'll see you later in the week.